E-Rock here with Level Up Squad and Mr. Blake Miller here, aka the Ozone Guru, with 25 years of experience in detox health and wellness. So we're going to talk about water today. Water is the second most important thing that we need besides, oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
But some people say, well, what's the best water to drink? Is tap water okay? Bottled water okay? Which is the best bottled water to take?
Mm-hmm.
Should I have a filtration system in my home?
Yeah.
So we're going to break it all down. We're going to break down all the waters.
It's very confusing, man. The water is because people just assume, oh, I'm drinking raw water. I'm not dehydrated. But I have been studying hematology for 15 years. Live blood analysis is actually some of my work right behind you with my dark field scope. And what I found from my own research is everybody is dehydrated, even if they're drinking a good quality water. Everybody's living in some level of dehydration. Now, why is that? Well, there has been a lot of confusion with the element sodium. People think that, we want to stay away from salt, stay away from sodium, but sodium is probably one of the most important electrolytes, probably one of the most important minerals for the body, but we want to stay away from table salt. Table salt is just sodium by itself. You want a good salt that has all the other elements present.
Like sea salt.
Like sea salt, but one of my favorites is mountain sea salt, even beyond Celtic. But the fact that nobody has the minerals in the water is they're not getting the water into the cells. And it's basically a lack of sodium. So even if we got down on some humic and fulvic acid, there's still no sodium in there either. So people are struggling from the wrong types of water, wrong types of filtration, and definitely a lack of minerals in the water.
I was shocked the other day to learn that one of my good friends says he drinks tap water.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, do you realize what's in tap water?
I had a guy that came into my clinic just the other day. He's actually a dear friend of mine, and he got a blood clot that killed part of his kidney from drinking distilled water for 15 years straight. Now, why is that? Distilled water must be clean, right? Distilled water has 0 minerals in it. Unless there's, once again, minerals content in that water, your body will just piss it right out. Sodium is a gatekeeper to allowing that water to get into the cells. With no minerals, I'm even will go as far as to say that water is actually harmful for you to drink if there's no electrolytes in it. We don't have any water in our body. All the fluid we have in our body is more of a electrolyte watery substance. There is no just plain water. It's more of a salt water is more of an accurate description of the water that we have in us. So, but yeah, tap.
Let's talk about some waters that people that are drinking, this tap water.
Yeah, the tap.
If you're drinking tap water after you hear this today, you're not going to drink tap water again in your life.
Yeah.
So you got to think, everything that's flushed down the toilet, everything that's put in your laundry, all that water goes back to the city.
Pharmaceuticals, heavy metals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dirt
all that
pipes.
nasty, dirty shit goes back to the city sewer system, and all they're really doing is killing bacteria, right? They're just using chlorine.
There's a lot of other chemicals in it too. You want to show them that thing on there? But yeah, this is just an example of what tap will do to your blood. I mean, this is taken from my good friend Sean. We looked at his blood, and he drinks tap, and he's actually in really good shape. But these are red blood cells, and those cells have clumped together because
the sludge factory.
Yeah, it's a sludge factory because there's no electricity in the blood. I fix this by bringing electricity back to the blood. We do that with 3 elements, not just water. You have to have water, minerals, and oxygen, and that's how you make that transformation right there. It's still not the best, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was before. So tap is
let's talk
no
about
minerals.
What's in tap water that people don't know.
It's and
so you got to realize that they're only really killing viruses and bacteria, but they're leaving other things that are byproducts.
Arsenic, bromine.
A lot of them are even uranium, and uranium is radioactive.
Yeah.
And these are byproducts from disinfectant items, right? They're disinfecting the water, and then you get a byproduct from it. And you don't see it because it's clear.
Right.
But you're drinking it. I was shocked. You can actually go to this website that's called ewg.org, and you can put your zip code in there, and they'll tell you. We just put the zip code of where we're at right now, and look at this.
Then where is this at?
This is just right here, where the studio is at.
Where Dallas, Texas at right now, by the way.
Yeah, we're at the studio right now. But this is what's in this zip code here. This is done. They did a contaminant test on the tap water to see what chemicals are still left over. Arsenic. What does arsenic do? 74 times the allowed amount. What the?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, look at some of these. This is 152, whatever. I can't read that. something you can't even pronounce, but it's quite
chromium,
toxic.
chloroform. Chloroform comes from
Oh my
the
God.
disinfectant product.
Yeah, that's
23 times, not 1, not 2, 23 times.
Is that all?
Nitrates.
Oh my God. Yeah. So let's just pretend.
What happens when these chemicals in your body though? What happens?
Oh, well, I mean, this is what's causing all the haywire with the thyroid and all types of issues, cysts and tumors and all types of waste. But let's just pretend that, okay, guys, we're not drinking that water. We're on the little plastic water bottle.
Oh,
Okay? So you've gone past that. So we're going to go into.
That's purified water.
Oh, okay, it's purified. But here's what
that's
you're drinking.
Purified
man.
tap water.
Like, would you drink a glass of water that's been sitting in your closet for a year? Just sitting in one spot for a year,
Maybe
not even moving.
Maybe if I was
sitting in the dark, and for a year. Well, that's what you're drinking when you drink a bottle of water.
Maybe
It's been sitting in a warehouse dead still for well over a year. Not to mention it's absorbing all those plastics, which are producing something called xenoestrogens in our body, which is collapsing testosterone levels in everybody. But there is loads of contaminants. I mean, you can pull up the contaminants in plastic water bottles. It is probably as long as that list right there.
So we're not going to mention any brands here,
Right.
But there's a couple of brands where it's actually just city tap water and they put it in the bottle.
Yeah.
And
even just the high-priced bottled water, man, you'd be surprised. Because even if you get the high-priced bottled water, once again, it's been sitting in a warehouse for at least a year, soaking in a hot plastic bottle before you get your hands on it. Okay, and that water is dead. You never want to drink water that's been sitting still. You want to drink water.
there's been a lot of
living water that's been spinning and moving around. So
there's been a lot of laboratory tests, especially done in Canada, where they actually tested to see if there's any traces of other things in the water, and they found that there was traces of plastic in 60% of the water bottles, little tiny particles of
it's
plastic.
microplastics. And these are quite toxic. All this is made from petroleum
But when you get the
products.
plastic in your body, it acts like a xenoestrogen, right? Doesn't it?
Right.
Like
It clogs,
changes your hormones?
it clogs the testosterone receptor. So that's what they're thinking is lowering testosterone levels across the nation. And everybody's drinking plastic water bottles. Everybody drinks out of them, So I always recommend, if you want to go beyond, take the next step, start filtering your own, okay? So you can either do reverse osmosis at your house or you can distill it. But if you're doing those, you better damn well make sure you're adding minerals back to it.
Because you're extracting everything.
You want to add a good finger pinch of your mild and sea salt every 16 ounces, okay? And that will going to give you all your minerals back in that water, all your electrolytes back in that water, and actually make the water absorbable where it can actually be useful to the body. And that's probably some of the best things you can do. And if you want to add a little cherry on top, you can add our ozone drops, which is what we use to make this transformation here. Our ozone drops are not really ozone. It's actually oxygen that we bind to sodium chloride. And that, once again, the sodium goes into the cells with the water. That's the gatekeeper, right? So we just put the oxygen with the sodium, and it hitches right with the sodium. It's right into your cells.
Electrifies it.
Electrifies it, because to make electricity, you got to have water, minerals, and oxygen, not just water. So, yeah, man, water is crucial. The solution to pollution is dilution. And a good water regime, I always tell people, is, right when you wake up is the best time to have water. But nobody does that because they're drinking coffee first thing in the morning.
And what does that do?
First thing you can do.
What does that do to you?
We'll get into more of that on our next one. But yeah, we've been living on caffeine. It's keeping you dehydrated. Coffee actually lowers your production of hydrochloric acid. So this is what's giving you heartburn. And not to mention too, if you're eating caffeine in the morning, you're not sleeping very good at night. This tells me you got bad adrenals. So what you want to do though is do just the opposite. Your body cleansed all night long. It really wants water when you wake up. You don't want to go to something that's going to dehydrate you, which is what everybody does with the coffee.
So you're starting your day with dehydration.
You're starting already dehydration. And you're going to have a shitty day just from there on out. It's just the way it works. You want to start your day out.
Then afternoon energy drink.
Yeah, then you have more caffeine, and you're probably not going to eat a lot. You've got suppressed appetite from the caffeine. What you want to do is at least 16 ounces first thing in the morning with your salt and with your ozone drops, and then have your breakfast. And then if you still want coffee, have the coffee after that. But get the food, get the water in your system first. Don't go straight to the adrenal hit. Save that bad boy, which I get into more of that with my coaching. But that's one of the best things you can do to start your day out with. And, a good formula for water is usually an ounce per 2 ounces of body weight. So I'm a 200 pounds.
Yeah, because some
That
people
would be a minimal amount.
some people drink like, oh, you got to have 8 glasses a day, or you got to have a gallon a
It
day.
depends on your body weight. So, you know, a 200-pound man needs to have at least 100 ounces of water. And I recommend actually more than that. If you're doing a cleansing, especially, you actually will need probably more, closer to 1.5 gallons. So, you know, there might be days where I get close to maybe 200 ounces in a day, you know, and with my water intake. But you'll notice that when you start adding the minerals and the electrolytes back in the water, it makes the water way more absorbable, and
It tastes better too.
it tastes better, and you're more alkaline. And then your digestion works better. Now your adrenals are working better now, so now we're sleeping better at night. So now we don't need the coffee in the morning to get going. You know, so the water is crucial for the first step of living in excellence, is getting that hydration.
So you got to get off the tap water, get off the
tap.
bottle water,
Filter your
throw it away
own.
today. Like, don't even do it one more time.
Yeah, I mean, either get some good water delivered to your house,
Which is what we do.
5-gallon jugs, because those are actually non-leaching, or filter your own. But either one of those, if you're getting stuff delivered or filtering your own, you've got to add the minerals back to it, man. Because if you don't, your blood's going to sludge out.
You can drink all the water you want.
It won't get into your cells. If you don't have any salt in there, it was not going to happen. So that's how you do it.
Well, that's water for you. So get rid of the tap water, you get rid of the bottled water, get your
Yeah.
water delivered to your home, electrify it,
Electrify it, add your electrolytes, your salt to it,
and
then
before you know
ozone
it,
drops. That.
before you know it, you're going to start living healthier and happier.
Oh yeah, the whole body dysfunction's better. It's just,
Now-
it's a total game changer.
Now, one thing that they got to realize is that all those arson, all these chemicals and stuff that they're putting in the tap water, if you've drank in tap water, you got to get this stuff out.
Right. So that
here's where we get back
more
to
water
detox.
to detoxify the crap from the tap.
Yeah. And that's where it comes again, where they can do the ozone therapy and they can detox from the body.
That's the cleansing on steroids. It cleans it up rather quickly.
All the heavy metals, all the
Oh, yeah.
toxins, all the chemicals.
Yeah, they don't want to have blood like that. You want to have blood like that. Yeah, that thick blood is why we have high blood pressure, poor energy, neuropathy. It just goes on and on and on.